No end in sight for City Power's troubles here in Johannesburg. The utility says it's out of parts that are needed to repair 14 mini substations which were vandalized in parts of the city. It's already replaced nearly 400 mini substations just in the last year. That's, of course, due to ongoing theft and vandalism. City Power carried out aggressive power cutoffs to recover 4 billion rand that's owed to it by businesses. Michael Sun, Joburg's Environment and Infrastructure Services, MMC, joins us now for more. Mr. Sun, good afternoon. Welcome to today, and thank you very much for your time. If you've run out of stock in terms of parts to repair the substations, would this mean you're going to have parts of Johannesburg that are supplied by those substations are in for very, very many dark days?
Good afternoon, Dan. And the short answer to your question is yes. Yesterday, when City Power released a statement that we have 14 mini substations either vandalized or parts stolen, we're still waiting for spare parts. And the good thing is that we're hoping in the coming week, the manufacturers and suppliers will be able to deliver those mini substations. But until such time, City Power simply cannot keep up with the rate of vandalism and theft that is happening within our communities on our infrastructure. Correctly is mentioned by you earlier that City Power replaced 390 mini substations just in the last year alone. And this is really devastating. This morning I received a report from City Power that there were 9 cases of either cable theft or infrastructure vandalism. And again, 3 mini substations were attacked. And this is a result of the ongoing load shedding at high stages where criminals and vandals have longer time to work without the risk of electrocution. So you can imagine it's really an open season for the thieves. They go out there. They simply have to follow the load shedding schedule and to find out where they can work. And of course, take the valuable spare parts from these mini substations, and some of them even steal the entire mini substation and load it off onto their trucks and drive away. So that's the situation we're looking at. But the good thing is that City Power is working very hard with our suppliers to ensure that within the next coming week, we get these 14 mini substations or even more delivered to City Power so we can start with the restoration work.
Who buys a stolen mini substation?
Well, I would want to ask the same question too, Dan. I'm sure, they strip the parts that inside that's valuable. So when they vandalize, they disable, and there are several causes, either because of illegal connections or they're simply after the parts that's inside a mini substation. And with the steel casing that's outside, I'm sure that then is sold off to other users. There are other places do use mini substations. Others, they are sold off as scrap metal. So these are the modus operandi we are looking at. And certainly we need to work closely with law enforcement to ensure that we protect our infrastructure. And we also look at those that are potentially dealing with those kind of scrap metals.
Yeah. You're dealing with load shedding. The demand is still there. You can't supply it because of vandalism. It's like you as City Power, or City Power is caught between a rock and a hard place. But you can only do so much in terms of securing these substations. You need the support of the police. Is Johannesburg trying to speak to the police to say how can they come to the party and assist? And also,
absolutely.
Yeah, you can carry on. Hello, Mr. Sun, are you there?
Sorry, Dan, I missed you. I missed you a little bit there. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. You back on.
All right. Yes, certainly we've been working very closely with the South African Police Services. They have got a specialized unit that works closely with City Power. And of course, our own law enforcement agency in terms of Johannesburg Metro Police Department. But, even more that we are working with the community members, your CPFs, your community petroleum groups, We've made more arrests this last year compared to all the previous years added together. In fact, we've done 174 arrests. We put them behind bars. Those cable thieves and vandals are sitting behind bars. So it's not really up to the justice system to ensure that they remain behind bars and get the punishment they deserve. But the other thing that we need to also look at City Power's core business is electricity distribution. Lately we are becoming a security service provider. With the 100 million rand that we're already spending in securing our infrastructure, we need to now spend 300 million rand a year on deploying security guards, security measures. But those are the monies that we need to spend. Otherwise, we'll be spending more monies on having to replace and repair damaged and vandalized and even stolen infrastructure.
Yeah, I mean, you've spent already, I understand, about 200 million rand in fixing the 390 mini substations, and now you've got 14 more that you are busy with, and you're going to spend millions there as well. Are your suppliers back on stream? I mean, we've just come out of the festive season. Are they now operating, the people who supply you with the spare parts that can assist you to expedite getting those parts so you can fix the 14 mini substations?
Certainly, our suppliers have been on board. Of course, over the Christmas period that the factories had to close, but our suppliers are committed. We are also working with them to ensure that they understand our challenge. It's not a Johannesburg problem alone. When we spoke to our neighboring metropolitans, Tshwane, Ekurhuleni, and even as far as Cape Town, they have similar problems where they have a limited stock or even a shortage of mini substations. So we are all in the same situation, and these suppliers are really understanding. And we like to keep that relationship going to ensure that whenever there's a need, that we work closely with our suppliers to ensure that these mini substations and any other spare parts are being delivered to City Power so we can get the work done.
Yeah, just taking a long-term view, I think I've asked you this before, Mr. Sun, and if you may be very brief in answering as we are running out of time now. Would you support a change in the laws as a city of Johannesburg to really make it a crime that is punishable in a very harsh way, because the cable theft suggests, or the stealing of substations, there's a market somewhere. And as long as there's a market to buy these things, it will not stop.
This is not just a crime against infrastructure. In fact, it's a crime against our economy, the development of the country, against the lives and livelihoods of our citizens. So the short answer is that I personally definitely would support, I'd like to see heftier sentences being passed against those cable thieves and the syndicates that's behind it. So certainly we need to set examples to ensure that it will serve as a real deterrence for any wannabe criminals that wants to damage and steal our infrastructure, and that plunges all of us into darkness.
Thank you very much for your time this afternoon on Today on eNCA. That's Mr. Michael Sun, is Joburg's MMC for Environment and Infrastructure Services.